Tomatoes are everywhere. Pizza, pasta, ketchup, salads. But centuries ago, Europeans refused to touch them because they believed tomatoes were deadly poison. Welcome back to Comicaffairs. Today, we're diving into the surprising history of tomatoes, why people thought they were poisonous, and how this myth finally proved wrong. The tomato story begins thousands of years ago in the Andes region of South America. Early civilizations like the Aztecs and other Mesoamerican cultures domesticated tomatoes, cooked them in sauces, and even used them symbolically. For them, tomatoes were food and nothing scary. In the mid-1500s, tomatoes reached Europe. But Europeans took one look at these shiny red fruits and thought, no way. They gave tomatoes the nickname poison apples. But the reason why might surprise you. Tomatoes belong to the same plant family as deadly nightshade, one of Europe's most poisonous plants. Early botanists noticed the resemblance and assumed tomatoes were dangerous too. Here's the twist. Tomatoes did make some people sick, but not because of the fruit itself. It was because wealthy Europeans were eating food on pewter plates that were full of lead. Tomatoes are acidic, and when placed on those plates, they absorbed the lead and resulted in real cases of lead poisoning. People died, tomatoes got blamed, and the myth of the poison apple was born. The wealthy classes of England, Germany, and Northern Europe feared tomatoes the most. They trusted early botanical warnings and, ironically, were the ones using the lead-filled plates that made them sick. Meanwhile, in southern Italy, especially Naples, the poor didn't use pewter plates. They ate from wood and simple pottery, so tomatoes were perfectly safe for them. They cooked tomatoes into sauces, and eventually they added them to flatbread. This is where the world's first tomato-topped pizzas were born. Over time, people noticed something strange. Poor people who ate tomatoes were totally fine, while the wealthy still avoided them. By the 1700s and 1800s, scientific understanding improved. Botanists confirmed tomatoes weren't toxic. At the same time, porcelain and ceramic replaced pewter plates, ending lead poisoning, and with it, the fear of tomatoes. As Italian tomato dishes, pasta sauces, stews, pizzas spread across Europe and eventually the United States, the tomato transformed from a feared poison apple into one of the world's favorite ingredients. So that's the wild history of the tomato. Born in the Andes, feared in Europe, embraced by the poor, and finally celebrated across the globe. From myth to menu, the tomato's journey shows how powerful misconceptions can be and how delicious the truth becomes. If you enjoyed this story, hit like, subscribe, and stay tuned with Comicaffairs for more interesting videos.